Okay, I thought I'd show this little thing that I've found recently. Normally, when you have wiring issues or like I wire up my lights from off-road vehicles, I I use I do what's called a flyover, where you take the wires and you go like this. You make little rabbit ears and you fold them over, and I solder them, and then I'll take some heat shrink wrap tube and go over the top of it. Well, I recently found these, and what I like about these is that they have solder in the center of them. So when you put your wire through the center and melt this, the solder that's in the center here goes down into the wire. So I thought I'd show you. I really like how these work, and these are, you can get different grades. There's automotive grade. There's one's just for like speaker wires, and you could use them interchangeably. But like for example, you have wires in your fuel injector that get ate through or whatever by rats or rodents or whatever, and you've got to fix them. These work really good. So what I've done here is, what I usually do is I slide it through first if you have enough room on the wire. So I slide the wire through, then I take the wire on this side, and I just try to get the wires to interchange between each other, kind of like fingers going through. Then I just kind of gently roll the wires over like this, and then I pull them back. And I kind of messed that one up when we do it. Of course, when I'm on camera, it messes up for me. But so I go like that. Just kind of slowly get them together, and because you want to make sure that you get that in the center of the solder in there. And there you go. See, now it's in the center. You can center it, and then once you get in the center, I'm gonna have to try to hold this so I can do this properly. Usually I use a little holder or whatever, but no, the wire will be held. So we'll take the heat gun, put a safety trigger on these darn things. You use a lighter on these. You can use whatever kind of heater you want. I'm going to use this. And as you can see, she shows you in the center here, you'll see the solder will start to go directly into the wire, and it melts into that wire. And this whole thing will become a heat shrink, and it will shrink down on the wire. This takes a little bit longer on the center, but you should see here in a minute. And it starts to melt down onto that. The solder will actually get heated up. And this isn't a very high-powered heat gun. It's one temperature. It actually works quicker when you use a lighter, but you can see now the solder is starting to go down into the center. Just got to go a little bit longer. Maybe this side so you see a little better. I've got that low power setting, just so I don't melt anything else while I'm doing it. You can see the solder is actually melting down into the wire, if you can see. I use two different color wires. Normally you wouldn't do that, but I did that to show you guys how this works. And like I say, low setting, it takes a little longer, but it's already melting down into there. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. The red stuff that's on the ends is a binding compound that works to bind the plastic of the wire to this tube also. I keep it from pulling out. So it's kind of like an added thing for it. And if you do this with a lighter, it's a little bit quicker, or you do it with if I turn the power up on this. This is just a low power heat gun. And as you can see, now that is soldered together in there. And it's one complete wire. You could pull on this or whatever, and you see all that solder is run down into the wire on both sides. It's got the flux and everything in there. And so to save from having to, and you could put a piece of heat shrink tubing over this if you wanted to. And like I said, I use two different color wires because I didn't want to, I want to make it easy for you to see it. But as you can see, that piece melts down into there. It's got flux and everything in it, and it gets down to the wire and holds them together, and it makes a great connection. I've tried it, and it's, you pull on it, and it's pretty tight. So you don't have to crimp them with a wire crimper anymore. You can just use these, and it's soldered. I used to solder everything, but these make it a little bit, I wouldn't say, I guess to me it's easier because you don't have to bring your soldering iron. You just have to heat up. You can actually use a lighter if you're on the car and you got to do it, and you can just do it like that. Another thing I would recommend that you get, put this over in case the wire is still hot, real quick, is these right here. These to me, I think, are the best wire strippers you can get. So when you want to strip a wire, you're in a tight area or whatever. I have another set that comes in like this and grabs, but these work really good. You just put the wire in. I'm going further than it was, and you just like that, and it shreds the wire for you, so that you can get your wire off of there, like so. So you can shred the wire whatever length you want, and you can adjust this with this stopper here, how much you want in there, and it's micro adjustment also on it. Right, these from Irving. These are not very expensive. Knippek makes a pair of these. They're like 150 bucks. These are inexpensive. Again, those are the clips. You can get these for like $9. The automotive rated ones from Amazon. And as you can see, that's a hard connection. It's nice. And if you use the same color wire, like I say, you wouldn't do like I did here. And then you could, if you wanted to, as an added protection, you could put a black heat shrink or red heat shrink, whatever color wires you're running, over the top. But there's no need to. That's completely insulated, as you can see. And all the solder is in the center. And it's tight. It's not going anywhere. That's my video. Hope y'all learned something from it. Thanks.